This is a poem called Weather. O little brother, you and I, standing staring at the sky, and your childish question, you know when you die? Yes, I answer, unsure where this is going. Will there be weather? Weather, how? I stall, not knowing how to answer. You know, like clouds, you loving how they change from one thing to another. So I assure you and reassure myself, yes, there will be weather when you die. You say nothing, trusting all I say. I, the elder brother, knowing the truth of all things. Now all these years later, you have stepped across an horizon, that dividing line between knowing and not knowing. Well, bud, I say, is there still weather when you die? Only you know now. And a cloud answers in the shape of your smile. Thank you. As for my Uncle Michael, Michael was the treasure trove of my childhood, the open sesame of my childhood. My dad gave me a love of words. Michael showed me how to make them and create them and to turn the world into words. So, this is called Maker of Days. It was published by the Jane Austen House, of all things. You will always be oats and barley, that smell spilling out of a split sack in an empty barn, a dance of dust motes like a spell, trapping summer within its crumbling walls. You being you, whatever the weather. Water sprung from ground, its gurgle of coldness, the chitter-chatter of hens gossiping among obsolete machinery, blue eaten with rust. Dock leaves next to nettles, calm in the pain, far from the maddening stings. Always your laughter amongst the ordinary, everyday shipwreck of things becoming and unbecoming themselves. You, the maker of days in the lost land of summer. And this is called Be Thy Own Palace. And if you know your Don said, be thine own palace or the world's thy jail. So, seated beside her in the pew, her doll listened intently to the Saviour who emerges from the old priest's mouth, an ectoplasm of words as he manifests before her. Is there a dull heaven, she wonders. Her little mistress, however, is bored, very bored indeed, much more interested in a sunbeam genuflecting before the altar, extinguishing the priest's voice, or the ladybird landing on the lady's foxfur, it more jewelled than the jewel worn. Picking her nose as the host is held aloft, a bird perched upon the left shoulder of the crucifix, the Christ a mere cipher, how the artist fancied him. The crucified man smiling at her, despite how boring the sermon is. Sunlight becoming colour, travelling through stained glass. Her doll nods off, falling at her feet. Shh, father scolds both doll and daughter. Doll's head broken in four, nothing inside but an emptiness, all her thoughts evaporated. The smile still fixed on her porcelain face. Incense like death walking upon the air. The tiny tinkle of a bell. And finally, revisiting number 31, O'Higgins Road. That's where I spent all my life growing up, Curracamp, County Kildare, and it's no longer there. It's just empty space. Very weird feeling to go back to that. Time that great wind blew away all the windows, doors, and walls of the home where I'd learned to read. Until now, no house exists at all. Only the empty space that a bird flies through. I keep the roof over my head just despite time. The one I drew with crayon, it still persists in the child's mind. My short-sighted dyslexic eye can still see such things. A herd of brontosauri moving from sentence to sentence across a wilderness of pages. My finger tracing the sound of a name, R.M. Ballantyne. My mouth trying to do the same. Time too has taken away the boy, and by some strange alchemy made me this sole man. But the child's mind laughs at this trick, the mere aging of flesh, the child that cannot die, the house that doesn't exist except for my crayon purple roof and a name I still like to sound. Come words, I command them as they gather me, hold me like flowers held in a hand, the herd of brontosauri moving now from one page to the next.